In this video, I head to the most dangerous suburb in the whole of Western Australia to see for myself what life is really like for a lot of Australians, and also how does it compare to the roughest areas in my home city of London. Let's take a look. But before we do that, I thought I'd take a look at the complete opposite end and take a look at Western Australia's most expensive suburb. Now this is Peppermint Grove, a suburb in Perth where the average house goes for around 4 million Australian dollars, making it one of the most desired suburbs not only in Perth but in the whole of Australia. I have arrived here at the richest suburb in Western Australia, the most expensive houses. Let's go and have a look around. Come into a local spot for a coffee, guys. I'm in kind of the main area here. This is like the Cottesloe area. It's got its own like little strip of shops, cafes, all that kind of thing, and it's all very, very nice. Everything feels very clean, very peaceful actually. It's a Sunday here. It's very quiet and people are just kind of going about their day. It definitely feels expensive, like the cars, but all the cars lined up along here. You got Mercedes, you got Range Rovers. Like, it is nice. You can tell it feels like an expensive suburb. The shops, do you know what I mean? They're fancy, they're bougie shops. Area's nice, and I've come for a little coffee, little spot. It's actually very quiet, to be honest, but yeah, this is definitely the Australia that you picture when you picture moving from the UK to Australia. Sat outside, coffee, nice suburb, do you know what I mean? It's definitely what you picture. And this is it right here. So already some of the houses I'm walking past are absolutely wild. Yeah, the area is very nice. Everyone's got like Range Rovers. Literally every single car on this street is like a Range Rover or something like that. It's proper nice. Everything feels very, very peaceful. And that's one thing you get instantly when you come out to suburbs like this, is extremely safe. You don't feel like you'll have any issue whatsoever. And one thing I've also noticed already being here, there's a lot of older people just sitting on like the high street there. It's a Sunday. In the city where I am, there's a lot more young people, obviously your travellers, but also families and stuff. Here it seems to be a lot of older people, so these houses are ridiculous. One thing I do always wonder when you come to suburbs like this, houses are insane and stuff, is how, like, I do wonder how close and good the community is. Because one thing that I've realised travelling to a lot of places is often places where people have the least, they don't have much money, everyone's kind of in the same boat. Often in them places the community is very strong. So I do always wonder with places like this, places where, you know, everyone's got big high fences and stuff, I do wonder how, you know, close the community is. I wonder if anyone actually speaks. So this suburb is in a pretty interesting area. It's got the Swan River on one side, which is where I'm sitting now. They've got this whole kind of park along the riverbank, which is so nice. Like, you can literally see all the way across to the city. And on the other side of the suburb, you've got the beach, which is literally like a 20-minute walk from where I am now. So it's literally sandwiched on a little bit of land right between the sea and the river. Yes, these houses along this bit in particular are definitely the nicest ones out of the lot. Like, they are insane. If you were rich, this is like a very good place to live. You've got the beach on your doorstep. Look at all the boats as well. Everyone, like, there's like a yacht club up here as well, which I've seen on pictures, but there's some serious yachts at this place. So I'd imagine the people who live in these houses, do you know what I mean? Like, what a lifestyle that must be. Living on the water. On the weekends you can go out on your boat. The beach is like a 20-minute walk. You've got cafes, restaurants. This has got to be one of the best places in the world to live if you've made some money. I do think Perth as well, or maybe Australia in general, does have like a high percentage of millionaires, because you look at the amount of yachts that are in the marinas in places like Perth, and the population's only like 2 million. So that is like quite a high percentage of the people that live here that have like big boats, like yachts. And obviously they aren't cheap. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like there has to be a very high percentage of people in Australia compared to other countries that do very well for themselves, because like some of the boats here are insane, and there's like, all the marinas in Perth, they're full of big yachts. So overall thoughts here on the suburb, very nice. The houses are insane, the gardens are insane as well. Just like a very nice place to live. As you'd imagine, to be honest, the nicest suburb in Western Australia. Compared to other rich places, like if I were to go to the richest suburb in the UK, I don't reckon it'd be as nice as this. It would be somewhere in central London. It wouldn't be that nice. This is like extremely nice. You're on the river. And here, guys, is the other thing that makes these suburbs around here so expensive, because this is right on your doorstep. Some of the best beaches in Australia, so close to where these people live. And it's one of the reasons these suburbs around here are so nice and so expensive, because look at this. Apart from all the seaweed, I don't know what's going on there. Normally these beaches are like literally so white. These beaches just go for miles. Alright, let's do it. Right, it's freezing. Obviously this here is the Australia that you picture. This is what you see in films. This is what you see all over social media. Yeah, but of course, there is different sides to Australia. It isn't all amazing beaches and sunshine. This is Armadale, a suburb located southeast of Perth, notorious for all different sorts of crime, from antisocial behaviour, violent crime and theft. When doing my research, Armadale came out on top nearly every time when it comes to crime and most dangerous areas in the state. So guys, I have arrived here in Armadale. We're doing a bit of research into this place on the journey here, kind of crime rates and stuff, and Armadale ranks consistently high in lots of different areas. It's one of the most affordable areas in Perth. That also does come with some of the highest crime rates in lots of different areas. So I'm here now. Let's go and have a little look around and compare it to what we saw the other day in Peppermint Grove. So I have arrived here. The first thing I've seen come across is this little park here. One thing that stood out to me already is when you think about the roughest, you think it's all going to look terrible and be completely neglected, but the first thing I'm noticing here is everything's quite not well kept, but they've made a clear effort. The park's nice, the paths are nice, everything's like pretty intact, and I think it's clear they're making an effort with here. So I am interested to see what the main problems are in this area of Perth. But as you can see, the parks, everything, it's all pretty nice and pretty well kept. Let's go and have a look a bit further into town. One of the early things as well I'm noticing, there's a lot more people hanging around the street, groups. Yeah, there's a lot of people hanging around the streets compared to in Cottesloe where it was completely dead. This is the main kind of street area, guys, where there's a few shops, little cafes, bit of music going on as well. It's a nice little vibe, to be fair. There's nothing too crazy about this. It's fairly quiet, but there's things, people in the shop selling a few bits, selling a few paintings, a few little groups gathered around, but nothing feeling too intense so far. Yeah, I'd say at the moment it just has that kind of remote Aussie town feel to it. I wouldn't exactly say it feels rough at all, to be honest, what I'm seeing, but this kind of vibe, these streets, this kind of thing is like what I would say is the real Australia to a lot of people. I think backpackers come to Australia and, you know, they see the beaches, they see these amazing suburbs, but a lot of Australia is not like that. So there is like a whole shopping centre and stuff here, and a few little main streets. Before we go and do that, I thought I'd go and have a look at actually a few of the kind of streets that people actually live on here. Kind of want to get a feel of, you know, what it's like in the streets of these kind of suburbs. So yeah, I would say everything is looking a little more run down than obviously Peppermint Grove, where everything was unbelievably well kept. Everything here just looks a bit tired. Obviously the houses are a lot smaller. One interesting thing I think I am getting is people here are way more curious and a bit more confused by me walking around with the camera. I feel like in Cottesloe no one really even clocked. But here everyone's like, what's going on? Who's this in town? Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's not a common sight around here, but... I then had a little look around the local shopping centre, again, half expecting to see something crazy, but honestly, it was absolutely fine. There wasn't even any more security than usual. It hardly felt different to any other shopping centre in the city. One thing which is a bit of a shame, there seems to be a lot of things which have closed down. Like this one's an old bar and bistro, but looks like it's closed completely. There's a few spots like that. Judging by some of the things that have closed, maybe it used to be a lot more vibrant, but yeah, just on this main bit there's maybe 3-4 spots, especially on that side, which like bars and restaurants which are completely boarded up now. So I don't know if it was more vibrant in the past, but that's one thing I've noticed walking around this town area, is pretty well kept, but there is, you know, that half the shops and restaurants are just completely boarded up. And another thing as well, it's actually really busy compared to Peppermint Grove. That was a Sunday and it was dead. This is a weekday and it's really busy with people, with cars in the shops. Yeah, I don't know if more people are just off work. Maybe people in these areas don't tend to work as much, maybe they do, but it's very busy with people. All the shops are busy. So guys, there's a couple of main reasons why I wanted to come to two very different suburbs in Perth. One, because I wanted to show you guys that, especially coming from someone that's travelled all of Australia, not all of Australia is beaches and incredible scenery. I know it's very easy for us to say, like, people are so lucky to live in Australia and stuff, but coming to suburbs like this one today, the beaches and sun and incredible scenery isn't the reality of life for a lot of Australians. It is for some, of course, the ones who do fairly well for themselves, or if you're a backpacker and it's fairly easy to travel. Yeah, that's the reality for you, but that's not the reality for a lot of people. The reality is communities like this where it's, you know, it's not the nicest. Like, it's all right, but it's not the nicest. And the other reason that I wanted to go from one extreme to the other, especially to come here today, was I wanted to see what it's really like in the roughest areas of Australia. Now, I was half expecting to come here and for me to have my fists up, ready to fight, judging by the comments that I saw online about this place. Honestly, the amount of comments I'd saying, that's not the real Australia, go to Armadale, that's where you'll see the real shit. I've been walking around this place for a few hours now, and to be honest, it is absolutely fine. Yeah, there's a few crazy people shouting in the street. Yeah, it's a bit run down, a bit obviously of a poorer place than where we've seen, of course, but there's not been one point in the last few hours that I have feared for my safety at all. And if you listen to the comments online, you'd expect this place is crazy, but honestly, after walking around here, it's not even that bad. I would say that there is many areas in my own home city of London that I would feel way more unsafe walking around than in Perth's most dangerous suburb. What does that say about the UK versus Australia in 2025? Because I've just been to the worst place here, apparently, crime-wise, and honestly seen no issue. Maybe it's a different situation at night, quite possibly, but speaking from personal experience, I felt 10 times safer here than I would in many areas in London. Everything is actually nice. You wouldn't see that in London's worst area. And by the way, this isn't a competition of what's the worst area, it's just speaking experience and letting you know my thoughts. So that was my experience in the best and worst suburbs in Western Australia. To summarise, the best suburb was, as I expected, to be honest, amazing. And Armadale, clearly not perfect, but genuinely nowhere near as bad as I expected and after what I'd heard from everyone online. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one, and I'll see you in the next video.